so this has been really, really exciting. It's really, I'm excited to read next, and I'm Daniel Reinhold, and I want to thank Bev Abplanalp, I said that right, to be close, I got it, to be the, she's doing the video and the sound, and she had a battery run out, and we have children, and everything is, this is great, everything is kind of happening, and I'm liking it, and so I'm going to read a few pieces, and let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, just turn it down. Yeah, I turned it down. Thanks. Yeah. And the dynamics guy. Okay, this is much better. This is a poem I wrote for Richard Broad again after I found out that he had killed himself. He was a great inspiration as a poet and artist. And Felicia slept with the stuffed marlin. It was 7 feet long and shiny blue. She had been sleeping with it since 1968, when her boyfriend decided it was the Greek god Proteus. He painted himself blue and tried to fly off the Golden Gate Bridge. Shortly after that, she spotted the fish in a second-hand store in Grants Pass, Oregon. It was blue, and it reminded her of her boyfriend, so she took it home with her on the Greyhound. It was too long for her bed, so she cut a hole in the headboard. On Sundays, she polished it with Johnson floor wax so that it would always be shiny blue. After about a year, she burned her autographed copy of The Old Man and the Sea, and she never slept with anyone or anything else again. How's the sound? And I'm old school, so I'm going to ask you to just wait till the end to clap. I like to milk those seconds of silence. Young dogs and wax wings. Icarus fucks dogs in the autumn when the moon glows a cool orange and dances with the frost. He believes that wax wings are for poets and those who wait before dawn. He is no fool. He is saving his money by passage on the shuttle. He will surpass the speed of light if he is fortunate and Einstein is true. There are other considerations, of course. Will he ever trust the Pisces moon? Discover the mystics are to dance in his sleep. He is planning to give the old candles he has been saving in shopping bags in his cellar to the thrift shop on Chapatulas. He has stopped eating boudin and black and red fish and limits his meals to red beans and rice, the occasional poached egg and okra. The dogs, Icarus says, are a sublimation, a way of coping in a world where the dream of reaching the sun is easier to achieve than the promise of freedom. This is an art gallery, so this is a poem I wrote about Van Gogh's, I guess it was a sunflowers. The swirling sky. Sunflowers haunted you with that fucking yellow you could never get right. Vincent, were you up for 3, maybe 4 nights by then? Morpheus had failed you no matter how much absinthe you drank. The night got so dark, you wish the cypress trees would block the swirling sky. My epic. Next to the last love poem. That summer, there were promises. You weeded the asparagus. I painted the barn. And now, 2 pieces that I wrote. One I wrote probably, 25 years ago, maybe more. And the other one I wrote last year, and they both kind of are about the same situation, different times in my life. One green candle. On this morning of the 4th snow in 7 days, I think of your breakfast in New Mexico, the loaves of home-baked bread, the warm pots of tea, and always of the eggs fried in fresh butter, over once. the edges lightly browned. This summer will end our second cycle of 9 years. 9 years since you left the old farm on Fishing Creek, and 9 years since we said goodbye on the highway north of Taos. And I wonder, are you still in Santa Fe with your hair like rivers of honey falling to your waist? Do you still travel alone to the Rio Grande, sleep like an Aztec warrior, flat on your back, both hands clenched, your arms at your side? Did you learn to bathe with your lovers like one green candle and rub their skins like leather with the lather of your rose-colored soaps? I am 30 now, and I've danced upon the Mississippi, arm wrestled with the devil once in a cheap hotel in Tulsa. A Gideon Bible in the nightstand, a 357 somewhere on the second floor. And you have grown past 40, baking bread, brewing tea, frying eggs in fresh butter, wondering if the work you thought you were meant to do was already done a long time ago. I have to apologize, I left my reading glasses at home. These are a spare, and so I'm going to hold this in front of my face, but such is life. And then this is the other side of the poem, a lot of years later, 25 years later, let's say. There are promises we make without speaking. The air on the high mesa, the pueblo, the petroglyphs is bone dry at 7,000 feet. There is relief, dry skin soothes in the night air. I run the water in your claw-footed bathtub, as hot as I can stand. I light one green candle, burn a cone of sandalwood, turn off all the lights, and wake you. The sweat, the damp wetness of making love has dried on your skin as you slept, while the sunset rose light on Adobe. Paris, Texas, or Armageddon. It's going to be a long night. The sun has gone scarce, and Icarus is missing. We talk of Chaucer and Chevrolets, of venison and vetiver, wonder whether melancholy can really be expelled in the bio. An English girl in Texas, is that an oxymoron or an aberration? I promise you Paris, Texas. You promise me Armageddon. 2. I found God in Amarillo once, sometime around midnight, hitched a ride through Oklahoma, took a piss at dawn's break behind an abandoned Texaco to see a field of sunflowers stretching into the sun's first light. I live among the memory of glaciers now, where stone carved its way through stone, leaving lakes that stretch like fingers and gorgeous stalk and haunting sheer through rock that taunt the sun to throw shadows through heavy clouds. I will always hunger for a sky big enough that I can lose myself for half a day, an afternoon, and comb a river dry for fossils, scorpions, premonitions. Only I will know are premonitions. I will scratch a petroglyph with a carved stick into the dry red earth, an omen or an offering. Either way, I will leave. The mark I will leave will wait in the sun until it turns to dust with a sudden wind, or becomes mud as it mixes with the first drops of heavy rain. Having lived in the desert,